Hi everyone, I am Missy with Beauty Playbook, and today I have Christina joining me, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. But I'm super excited to have a conversation again about technology and running your business and what software she has chosen to run her business on. So, Christina, I would love for you to share who you are, where you're coming from, and what kind of business you're running.
Hi everyone, my name is Christina Delgado and I own Soft Touch Laser Hair Removal in Tampa, Florida. And I currently use Vagaro to handle all my bookings and clients and emails, text messages, payments, pretty much everything I've been doing on Vagaro. I didn't start off that way, but after about a year in business, I decided to go with Vagaro and it's been going well.
Were you running your books originally on paper or by hand or using anything, or you've switched and then we're on Vagaro? Were you running it sort of on your own before?
No, I started off with Booksy.
Okay.
I think, you don't know what you don't know. And I started this business like it was an idea. And then like 3 weeks later, I got my device, I got the key to my loft, and I was like, oh, I have a business now. So I had to make decisions really quickly.
Yeah.
And I was already a customer with Booksy for my nails and my eyebrows. And I was like, you know what, Booksy it is. And then as I got further into my business and things really started taking off, I was like, you know what, I need more information and more data. And then I ended up switching over to Vagaro, which is not ideal, and even after about a year now with Vagaro, I've already been looking at other things, but I have to just stay put because it was like a big transition for my clients. And they were like, oh, wait, I can't find you. You're not on Booksy anymore. So I'm gonna stay put with what I have. But obviously, I feel like every month you learn something new and you were like, oh, I wish I could do this or I wish I could do that. And it's like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think there's probably we all always feel like there's maybe one little thing out there that could make it easier for us. I'm curious, what were the reporting, like the analytics side of things? Like, what was something that you really felt like was important to track in your business?
So for laser, it's not just a one and done. So a
Mhm.
lot of clients need to come back quite significantly, at least, 6 to 8 sessions once every 6 weeks. So I wanted to keep track of like who was actually coming back, who was coming once or twice and then falling off. There was like a lot of things that would help me understand my clients better. And I think, what I share with a lot of people is that laser, it is a luxury service. So I think women, you're going to do your hair first. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, it's hair is in the budget. You need a haircut, you need to color your hair. And then I think it starts like trickling down to importance. It's like lashes and nails and lips and then laser, so I'm like 6 services down the list of importance. So I think people love the service. They love not having to shave. I've had some really good feedback, but my return clients, it boils down to money. So I have to find ways to constantly, I mean, that's not all of my clients, but I do want to find, sometimes I want to know, hey, how come you haven't come back? And it usually boils down to it's just not in their budget.
Yeah, but being able to track that, and then
Yes.
being able to reach out to them, and even that's almost like you're running your own internal marketing campaign because it's people who've already seen you and know you, and you've
Hmm.
seen them, and you're just kind of reaching out like, "Hey, come back. Where'd you go?"
Yeah, definitely. And then, later on in my business, I hope to offer more services and, having such a good database in Vagaro with email and text messaging services, like, hey, I'm offering this now. And, they have like all sorts of templates and all sorts of like ways to remind clients like before care, after care, and definitely just like, reaching out to them.
Yeah, that before and after care, it's interesting because I come from a hair background. And so there's a little bit like potentially there's a service where you might need some prep before, but maybe not, or after, maybe some aftercare like extensions and things. But in other service industries, like you specifically, I know with tattoo artists as well, the aftercare is so important. And I never really even thought about how much like running that through your booking system really could make such a huge difference on like maintaining your clientele because you're able to kind of like
Yeah. I
ensure.
mean, I was finding myself like, calling people and telling them things before and then telling them things after. So I have it set up now that like like I think it's 48 hours before their appointment, they get the before care instructions. And then like right after their appointment, or at least like 24 hours later, they get like another, I never even think about it anymore. I actually forgot that I even have that. And I was today, I Wednesdays, I do my weekly email and text blasts. And then I saw that they were still like there. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I do send that, that's great,
I'm sorry. That's amazing. When you've got a part of your business that's like so much running in the background, like you don't even know. I felt that way when I first started using Vagaro because that's what I was running my business on when I was full time behind the chair. And clients would be like, I didn't know I had an appointment today. I'm like, yo, I know you got 3 reminders
Right.
because Vagaro like doesn't play. It's gonna tell you have an appointment. It's gonna tell you that you need
Yeah.
to confirm, and then it's gonna be the reminder. But I don't even have to, right? Like I don't have to pay attention because at one point I was running it manually.
Yes, I was being super nice in the beginning and I was like, give me your name and phone number. I'll book your appointment. And, because a lot of times when I would send people the link, they forget, they're busy, and they wouldn't book it. And so I basically built my business on free underarm sessions. So I was like, everyone and their mama was getting a free underarm, and then they all became like my clients and my friends. And like, I literally built my business on free underarms. So in the beginning, I was sending out these, cold DMs or, whatever, any other way I could. And like, hey, come for a free underarm, give me your name and number, and I would just make them an appointment. So they had like no choice but to come. But as my clientele grew to like over 500 people, I
Oh
was like just
my
sending them the link and I was like, girl, you need to make your
God.
appointment because
Yep.
you know, once they're in Vagaro, they start getting all those things because I wasn't always putting in people's email addresses. I didn't know if people were downloading the app. And so I
Yeah.
had to like stop being so nice and just being like, hey, here's the link. You can make your appointment, you can edit it, you can keep track of it, you can put a credit card on file. Like you can really just help me manage things because it really was becoming a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, especially with 500, like, a fully booked out, again, like talking about from industry to industry, like a fully booked out stylist, if you're doing color, you're kind of sitting good if you're seeing like 200 regularly, like circulating through ish. If you do quicker appointments, that's a different, but that used to be my number. 500 is a wild amount of people to have to keep track of, like maintenance wise, if you were doing that
So
manually.
I actually have like I look at stuff like this all the time because I'm a big nerd and I have like 1,300 contacts. And in Vagaro, you can even track who of that database has actually come because, I might have put them in my system, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they come. So then I ran a report and I was like, oh wow, I have 1,300 names and numbers in here. Doesn't mean that they've physically come in. So then I ran another report and it was like a little over 600 have physically come or made an appointment. Actually, I need to further investigate because maybe they no-showed that appointment. But I have a little over 600 active clients. And again, not everybody is consistent with the treatment plans. Maybe they no-showed maybe they came for the free one and then never came back. And that's like one of the big ones that my husband's always like on my butt about. He's like, okay, that's great. You've done a free underarm. How many of those free ones have come back? And I'm always like, oh, a lot of them. I don't want to like, I don't have a number, but I should have that number. I should definitely see what kind of revenue those freebies have generated. And I know they work. I just
Yeah.
want to like quantify it, or I
Yeah,
should.
I'm sure you could
Yeah,
run
I
that
definitely
who
could.
all has had it. Well, and I'm looking, so I did obviously it's super fun to go look at someone's business profile, and it looks like you're running a Vagaro daily deal
Hmm.
for underarms. Is
Yep.
that how yeah, so this is sort of your incentive program?
So no, it's literally just my complimentary consultation. So I've played with different things with the underarms. I've tried doing them for $50. I've tried, like come and get a package and get one free. Like I've tried all these different things, and honestly, the only thing that works is free. It
Yeah.
has to be 100% free, no commitment, like no credit card on file. I never even charge a no-show fee. Like I am super nice in my business, nicer than I probably should be. But, I was still fairly new. I'm only in my second year in business, and so I just needed to like fill my books. So I have it on the daily deals and it's a complimentary underarm at your consultation.
That's amazing. And honestly, I think so. I built my business very similar to you. And I always say this, I'm like, there's some people that would tell us that that's totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's a ton of them. And then there are some people that are still sitting and wishing that they had that type of clientele. For me, the way where it went wrong for me was not having the plan after I got all of the clients and all of the demand. I needed to have like a backup after that and learn how to like properly scale and raise my prices. But me, similarly, giving complimentary services or a massive discount to get somebody in just to get to know me was how I built my business.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of times, and I've done more than just underarms for different, content creators and like local people, other business owners, influencers, and it's kind of bit me in the butt a couple times, like I'll have, a girl with, 10,000 followers and she'll come and get laser. And then 2 months later, she'll post another laser place. That's happened to
Mhm.
me like
Yes,
five
sounds great.
times. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, oh, and I get so upset. But what it's also given me is a ton of content, references, Google reviews. I mean, I've gained more than I've lost by
Yeah.
doing free services. And I understand that not every industry can do that. Like for me, it's my time, a pair of gloves, the gel that I use and, the wear and tear on my device. But it's not like for a hairdresser or a nail artist, I'm not actually spending a ton of money on product. So I can offer
Yeah.
these free services. So yeah, I've been
No.
I've been lucky in that aspect. But when I try to mentor other people or talk to other people, I understand that not every industry can roll like that. It does get a little pricey to just do it so discounted or free.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my question. So you've been in business for a little over almost 2 years.
Yes.
What would be to leave us today? What would be your biggest piece of advice that you would give someone who is like, you know what? I think I want to go out on my own, or they just went out on their own and they feel like they're just kind of spinning. What piece of advice would you give them?
So I feel like this might be a little generic and I might get some eye rolls. But when I tell you that I dove head in and gave 110% to my social media, that is
Mm,
what I did. And I would go places and like I'm only like 2 years in and like I went to get my car serviced and the girl looked up and she was like, "Oh, it's you, the laser lady." Like I was doing content 4 or 5 times a day, posting and doing like really funny, really creative, like off the wall stuff to get my brand out there. And that is what set me apart. Just putting the humor and the commitment because that when they woke up that day, they were gonna see my post. And I even would have people like, if it was past like 8:30 a.m., like, hey, what are you gonna post today? Because like people looked forward to like my funny content and like so stuff like that. So I would definitely say like don't be afraid to be cringe and don't be afraid to just put your personality out there and just let people know who you are and remind them every single day that you exist.
I love that. And I don't think this is an eye roll because what it sounds like to me is you treated your social media like a business. You
Hmm.
treated it as a true like marketing asset to your business that I think that's incredible.
Yep, it's literally. I was actually talking to my husband today, and I was like, "Hey, don't like, can you help me with Instagram because like that's how I built my business between cold DMing people
Yeah.
and posting content.
Yep.
Like that's just what I did. So it's been really helpful.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking time to
No,
chat with
thank
me
you.
today about how you run your business. And I hope that this is just like a piece. I love hearing from so many other people, like I said, when we're all running our businesses, maybe in our own way, and then we can take things from everybody else along the way. I think that's where the magic happens, is when we're all talking about what we're doing, and then we making content, and then we can all
Yeah, and
kind of
I
share
think
together.
it's super important to like pick other people's brains. Like I've only been in business for 2 years. Like there's so much more I have to learn. So I definitely love talking
I,
to other people.
I love it. Well, thank you so much,
No, thank
Christina, and
you.
hopefully we will chat again sometime soon.
Yes, definitely. Thanks. Bye bye.